So I've been using this really cool, pretty looking, sexy mechanical wireless keyboard for the last few months, and I've had literally hundreds of comments from people being like, bro, what keyboard are you using? I want one. So today I am finally revealing the mystery. This is a comprehensive review of the IQUnix F96. Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Ali. I'm a doctor working in the UK, and on this channel we explore the strategies and tools to help us live healthier, happier, more productive lives. Now, the keyboard is one of the most important tools in our productivity arsenal, and if you're anything like me, i.e. a massive nerd, you probably spend more time interacting with your keyboard than you do with your friends and family. So it's kind of a big deal that we get the right keyboard because it's really important for our physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional health. I've been using this IQUnix F96 wireless mechanical keyboard for the last few months. They sent it to me for review purposes, and I liked it so much that I emailed them being like, hey, can we do some kind of deal arrangement thing here? So if you click the link in the video description, you can get a 5% discount on their website, and I'll get a bit of a kickback as well. So if you want to spend a load of money on a fancy ass wireless mechanical keyboard, this is one option out of many. It's the one that I've been using personally. Anyway, in this video, I'm going to talk about these various things. And as usual, we'll start with the upfront conclusion to save you time if that's all you want to hear. And then we've got timestamps in the video description and in the pinned comments. You can skip around the video if you feel like it. So upfront conclusion, I love this thing. It sounds really good. It looks really pretty. I've had hundreds of comments from people being like, oh, that keyboard looks amazing. Where'd you get it? Like, what is it? So I think it just adds such a nice, colorful splash of personality vibe to my otherwise somewhat sterile desk setup. And actually, I've also got the Apple Magic Keyboard, which I still sometimes use if I'm on a Zoom call or something and I want to not make noise, or if my housemate Molly is asleep from a night shift, then I will kind of be a bit considerate and not do this kind of, but like, the sound is just like the thing that sells it for me. It just makes an absolute joy to type on. And yeah, it's expensive. Check it out. Link in the video description, 5% discount, blah, blah, blah. But I think it's worth it personally because a keyboard is like the one thing that we interact, like I interact with my keyboard more than I interact with my mouse. Because obviously I'm not a clicker because only noobs are clickers, as they say. So I just use the keyboard for everything. And so if it's nice, then that's like good for me. So yeah, I love it. That was my upfront conclusion for whatever that's worth. Let's now talk about the design now. So it's a full-size keyboard. We've got the numpad. I've gone for the coral version, which is sort of this blue with this orange kind of fluorescent orange type pink thing. And yeah, as you can see, there's a slight gray to the color of the keys, except the keys that are blue have the accent color as like their text color, and it's kind of the other way around. I just think it's a very kind of classy aesthetic. And before I was all about, let's have like a sterile, minimalistic Apple style keyboard. But then when I started using this thing and started thinking like, it just looks really cool on everything. Like, have a look at the overhead shot. These days in my thumbnails, I just have the keyboard off to the side. I would have the product in the middle. And look at that, like that scene just looks really cool because we've got this colorful keyboard adding personality. Whereas if we didn't have it, it would just be a bit sterile. So honestly, like the looks really sell it for me. So I just love the design of this thing. In terms of weight, it's quite bulky. Like it feels really, really beefy. And when I'm typing, like it never sort of moves around. Like it just never moves. It's a very kind of solid product. And so yeah, I just love everything about the design. We've got this USB-C charging port thingy at the back. We've got these feet at the bottom, and we've got the kind of brand name F96 IQUnix. And it's got these kind of feet that stick out from the bottom that sort of rest it at this nice, slightly elevated angle, which just makes it really comfortable to type on for extended periods of time. Let's talk about the sound now. Now, like, full disclosure, I know absolutely nothing about mechanical keyboards, so I didn't really know anything about the cherry red, cherry blue versus brown colored switches. This is the cherry red version, because I thought cherry red or cherry pink, whatever it's called, I thought that sounded cool. And here is what it sounds like. In fact, you know what? I'm just gonna do a typing test on 10 fast fingers. So let's record my screen. All right, let's go for it. Oh, 150 words per minute. Not too bad. It's not my best. Like, I think objectively, my typing speed is very slightly slower on this than it is on, for example, the Apple Magic Keyboard or my iPad Pro Magic Keyboard. Just because I think that the fact that this has more key travel and you have to kind of press it a little bit harder means that you are shaving, at least I am, I'm shaving a few words per minute off my typing speed. Like on the iPad and the Magic Keyboard, the first time I did the typing test, I got 154 words per minute. But still, 150 words per minute. I don't think anyone's going to say no to that. I'll be doing a video later on where I talk about tips for how to type fast and like an absolute productivity grease monkey. But that should hopefully give you an idea of what this sounds like. It's really annoying over Zoom calls. It's really annoying for other people in the house. But right now, it's locked down. I'm on my own. It's great. I freaking love the sound of this thing. Okay, next, let's talk about the lights. And to really show you the lights, I'm going to turn off the lights. And I'm going to draw the curtains. And so hopefully everything's kind of gone dark. But basically, this has some really cool RGB color options. You don't have to go for the RGB kind of lighting version. It's a bit more expensive if you do. But I've gone for it because it's kind of cool. So let's turn the backlight on. And now we're gonna get the manual out because this is the manual. It tells you sort of what, essentially what key combinations you have to press to get different lighting settings. So I just always have that to hand. So let's see. So this is mode number 1. If I type. So you see the lighting, it sort of comes out and from whatever key that you type on. So that's kind of cool. We can also change the color of the keys. So we can make it yellow, green, blue, purple, pink. Oh, we've got a multicolored one as well. So yeah, whatever sort of color you want for your setup. Let's go with blue for now. Let's see, what else have we got? FN shift to change the mode. Oh, hello. Okay, so this is an entirely backlit mode. So that's another thing that we could do if you were inclined to be this tacky when it comes to keyboards. What's the next one? Oh, hello. Look at that. Now it's just lighting up around it. Is it? And if I press something, now we've got the rainbow effect going all throughout the keyboard. Now we've got this sort of ripple kind of wavy kind of effect if you're into that sort of thing. Now we've got this subtle kind of glowy type effect, which again is not influenced by the keys that I type. Now we've got this sort of thing, where the wave of lighting, the wave of depolarization goes across the keyboard and back again. And it's sort of, is it changing color? No, but if I wanted to, I could change the color of it. Ooh. If I were to have it on, I usually have it completely off because it kind of drains a bit of battery, which is kind of annoying. But if I were to have it on, this would be how I'd have it on, typing random stuff, because now like when you hit a key, it sort of lights out from that. And this is just like really freaking cool. This was like a big reason why I got this, I got the RGB version of this keyboard when they emailed me, because I was like, oh, I would love to be able to have these kind of lights. It's kind of cool at night time. I'll be honest, I don't usually have them on because they do drain battery. Let's talk about the feel of the keys now. So it's sort of hard to say. So if I compare it against the Magic Keyboard, which is I suppose the other keyboard that I use, there's very little key travel, and you can hear what this sounds like. Whereas this, there's significantly more key travel, and that is, I suppose, sort of the main thing when it comes to the feel of the keys. They feel very, like when you hit a key, it just like feels really good. And I apologize that I'm not an official reviewer of mechanical keyboards, so I don't know what terminology you're supposed to use to describe the feel of keys. But the main thing I would say is that when I need to, for example, plan a video or type out long emails or do anything that involves lots of typing, this is the keyboard that I go to. I could go to this one. I could go to my iPad Pro Magic Keyboard. I also have the old Apple keyboard somewhere, but this is the one that I go to just because the feel of the keys just makes me it encourages me more to write stuff, to type out stuff. And I think that's valuable because most of the stuff I do on the internet and making money on the internet revolves around typing a load of stuff, like planning videos and things. So that is sort of what the keys feel like. Let's talk about charging now. Annoyingly, I can't actually find the cable that comes with this, but it's a USB-C cable because this is a USB-C port. It's a braided sort of nylon-y feeling cable. It feels high quality and stuff. The really annoying thing about, this is one of my gripes with it, is that you can't charge it with a USB-C data cable. You can only charge it with a USB-C power cable. So my charger for the iPad and for the MacBook doesn't work on this, annoyingly. You have to use a specific power thingy. And so I've got this random red one from Amazon. This is like some Amazon Basics one. And this one would work to charge it because it's just a power cable, and I connect this to the power cord. If I were to connect this to my laptop, it wouldn't work because it can't be charged over a data connection or something stupid like that. It's kind of annoying. It took me a while to figure that out, but I guess it's a small price to pay. And I just kind of plug this into the mains and then plug it into the keyboard and then it works. So any USB-C cable will work for it. It's just, it can't be it can't be data that goes through, it has to be power only. I'm not really sure why that is. I'm sure they could have changed it, but yeah, that's the slightly annoying thing about the charging. In terms of battery life, like if I have the lights enabled, then I had to charge it every 3 or 4 days, which is quite annoying. Like it was actively annoying to have to charge this every 3 or 4 days, so I'd be switching to this. And then I realized, like 2 months into owning this keyboard, that I could just disable the backlight. And now, like, I disabled the backlight, like, I don't know, 3 months ago, and I haven't had to charge it since, just because it's not run out of battery. So I don't know what the actual battery life is, but in like 3 months, I haven't had to charge it once I disabled RGB lighting. So if you're a fan of these like fancy RGB colors, then you'll have to charge it a little bit more often, but I don't usually have them enabled, therefore I don't charge it very often. Final few things, so I've got the version that does have a numpad. I'm not sure they have a version without, but to be honest, I never really use the numpad. It's kind of helpful if I'm typing in a lot of numbers or if I'm doing a lot of data entry. I don't really do that anymore. I've got a team of people who kind of work for me who can now do data entry if I need them to. So honestly, I don't really use a numpad for a lot, but I don't know, it just makes it look a bit more beefy having a numpad than not having a numpad. Then in terms of Windows and Mac compatibility, so this is Control, Windows, and Alt. So this is kind of, the design is for Windows keyboards, but when you have a Mac, Alt becomes Command, which makes sense because that is where Command would be, and the Windows key becomes Alt. So like it's super easy to use as a Mac user, but it is a keyboard that's designed more for Windows, so you won't see a Command key, you will see this Windows Alt setup. But if you've got the muscle memory of how to operate a Mac keyboard, you just kind of know you've got Command, you've got Alt, and then you've got Control, you've got Shift and Control, blah, blah, blah. Like it works absolutely fine. You don't have an FN key on that side. You have an FN key on this side. So that's something you might want to keep in mind, is that if you need to look down and see where Command is on the Mac, then maybe this keyboard is not for you, but if you've got the muscle memory, then it's absolutely fine. And finally, let's talk about the price. Bear in mind, if you click the link in the video description and use the coupon code Ali at checkout, you'll get a 5% discount for whatever that's worth. But let's look at the pricing. So the basic wired version is $199. If you go wireless, it's $229. 100%. If you're spending $200 on a keyboard, please spend the extra $30 to get it wireless, because it's just so nice having a wireless keyboard. It's just absolutely sick. I cannot imagine going back to a wired keyboard. If you want the backlight, it's another $20. I mean, I went for it because they were giving it to me for free. But to be honest, even if I was buying this, I would have gone for the backlight, just because my old Magic Keyboard I was using from the age of 14 up until the age of 25. I went 11 years with a single keyboard, and like, you know, this is spending $250 over an 11-year period. I mean, like, I really couldn't care less personally, but you know, you might have different preferences. And as I said, I went for the cherry red. I'm not really sure what cherry brown and cherry blue are supposed to sound like, but I thought cherry red sounded cool, so that was the one that I went for. So yes, it's a bit steep. For me, I think the expense is justified. Would I spend $250 on a keyboard? Yes. Would I spend $500 on a keyboard? $500 would be the price point for me where I would think, okay, this has better be a very compelling keyboard. Whereas $250, I think, well, you know, my AirPods are $250 and I use my keyboard 10 times more often than I use my AirPods. So personally, I think it's worth it, but I totally get, like, you really do not need to spend $250 on a keyboard. Like, it's not gonna make you any happier in life. It just makes you feel more like a badass when you're typing on it, and it annoys people that you live with. So that is all I'm gonna say on price. So yeah, that's the IQUnix F96 keyboard. If you wanna buy it, please do use the link in the video description. You get a 5% discount and I get some kind of kickback as well. So if you wanna support my coffee addiction, then this is great. If you enjoyed this video, I'm gonna make a video about how I type so fast, and that'll appear over there once I film it. Or if I haven't filmed it yet, then click here for a playlist about my favorite apps and how to be more productive on a Mac, on a computer, whatever. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.